Oh, there are too many options.
Hey, what's up guys, Pratima here. So if you're a student or a fresher looking for a reliable daily driver laptop on a budget, one of my first recommendations have always been the Aspire series lineup from Acer, as they always offer balanced specs at a budget-friendly price. And today I have the new Acer Aspire 5 2023 edition with me. Powered by the latest Intel 13th Gen CPU, this guy costs just $600 in the US, around 55,000 rupees in India, and 85,000 rupees here in Nepal. If you want something cheaper, there's also an i3 variant, but it's better to go with the Core i5 as it's going to be reliable enough to last you for years to come. Anyway, let me start the review of this laptop with its design, and like other budget notebook manufacturers, Acer has also cut some corners when it comes to the design and build of the Aspire 5. It has a plastic chassis with an aluminium clad top and thick bezels all around the display, which is pretty similar to what we saw last year. The overall laptop also does have a little bit of flexing here and there, but I would say it's nothing deal-breaking. Luckily, the alarming issue of the gap between the screen and plastic bezels in last year's model does not seem to be a thing here anymore. So good on Acer for fixing their mistakes with the new Aspire 5. Moving on, there is some keyboard flex, but it is hardly noticeable in day-to-day work. The keys do have this gritty texture though, which some may find appealing. But I didn't really mind it since I got used to it after a few hours of use. Unfortunately, my unit lacks backlight, so if you're someone who has to work in dimly lit environments or late at night, you would want to get the one with backlight option. However, Acer has included a numpad here for those who love cranking numbers on their laptop. The trackpad here is good for the price too. It's large, it's centered, and works well with multi-finger gestures. It's not only quick but precise as well. As for the I/O, you have your charging port, there's the HDMI port and a USB 3.2 Type A port on the left, while the right side houses a USB-A slot and the headphone jack. One thing to note here is that models sold in other markets like the US do feature a Thunderbolt 4 port, but that is missing on my unit here. Now, talking about the display, I would say that it is probably one of the weaker aspects of this laptop. Here you get a 15.6 inches IPS LCD panel with just 45% NTSC color coverage and 250 nits of brightness. It should fare just fine doing your everyday tasks like browsing or watching videos, but I would not trust it with things like color correction or graphic designing. Likewise, its subpar viewing angles and the low max brightness makes it difficult to use it in outdoor scenarios too. I would have also loved if Acer had provided a larger 16:10 aspect ratio for that extra screen real estate. That tiny bit of vertical space can really be a blessing when you're reviewing long lines of code or reading an article. As for the speakers, they are decent too. They get reasonably loud and don't distort at the highest of volumes. But since they are downward firing speakers, they sound neither very open nor very rich. But again, they are very reasonable for the price, so I wouldn't complain much. The webcam is also decent enough for conference or work calls, so you should not have any trouble while you're attending meetings in a well-lit room. Okay, let's talk about the most exciting part of the Acer Aspire 5 2023, and it's the performance. This guy is powered by the latest Intel Core i5 1335U chip, which does not have the largest leap in performance from the previous gen, but it's a pretty capable CPU. It even performs neck and neck with the M2 MacBook Air. So you will have no complaints in everyday tasks on this laptop. With my workflow involving multiple Chrome tabs, Photoshop in the background, and Microsoft Word, I did not notice any stutter or lag here, which is fantastic for a budget laptop. The fans also stayed silent throughout all this, which was an added bonus. But do keep in mind that they will get audibly loud when playing games or doing any sorts of heavy tasks, say for example video editing. As for coding and such too, the i5 13th Gen is a good choice for IT students and beginner programmers. It had no trouble running a few C projects with ChatGPT and Stack Overflow open in the background, but I suggest you upgrade the RAM to 16 GB to ensure memory hoarders like VS Code don't slow you down. Likewise, if you're a casual gamer and play CPU-reliant games like CSGO and Valorant, I am happy to say that it performs as expected. I was getting around 100 FPS on average with 32 FPS 1% low. I did notice a few stutters here and there, but it was nothing major. Valorant followed suit with similar smooth gameplay. I got around 139 FPS on average with 1% low of 59 FPS on low graphic settings. Lastly, the battery life on the Acer Aspire 5 is decent too. I was getting around 5 hours of screen time under normal workload at about 70% brightness. But if you opt to go for the battery efficiency mode, you might even be able to get a bit more. You can charge it with this compact 65-watt adapter that is provided inside the box, which takes around 2 hours to fully charge this device. So overall, with everything that I've discussed so far, the Acer Aspire 5 2023 edition is an excellent budget ultrabook for anyone who's looking for a reliable performance at a very reasonable price. This can be a good option for college students, office workers, or any general user looking for a powerful day-to-day laptop without breaking the bank. That being said, since this laptop is not very different from the 2022 model and the performance bump is very minor, I would recommend you look out for the 2022 model if it's available at a discounted price. So everyone, that is all for this review. If you like this video, do consider subscribing and hitting the bell icon for more tech content such as this. Saying this, it's me Pratima, and I will see you in my next video.